إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد إن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فبما رحمة من الله لنت لهم ولو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك فاعف عنهم واستغفر لهم وشاورهم في الأمر. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. We always begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending peace and blessings to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I recited from Surah Al Imran. It's a famous ayah about a characteristic of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which is lenient, which is kind. This happened after the Battle of Uhud, when he gave instructions to a group of Sahaba to stay in a place, and they forgot that instruction, or they meant or construed that instruction in a different way. So then these ayat were revealed, and these ayat mentioned that your role also is to keep people together. فَبِمَا رَحْمَةً مِّنَ اللَّهِ. This is the true mercy of Allah, that you are mean, that you are kind to them. Because if you were harsh, they would go away from you. They will not stay around you. So when we look at the life of Sahaba and the Tabi'in and the Tabi'in, they followed this characteristic. Because that was the main ingredient in conveying the message. When you look at in our own families, many times we are harsh, but that does not produce any results. We try, we want our kids to follow, but there is not just only one way. And many times we have seen that this aspect requires patience. Practicing kindness requires patience. Even in our gathering, on this Musalla, we have people from all over the world. Brothers, if you can move forward, wherever you see space, you please move forward because there are brothers outside. When you make space, inshallah, Allah will make space for us. That we come from different places. And many times we have different cultures. So if we are accommodative, which is the word here, and we are kind to each other, then that will create the harmony that we need. Kindness of heart is so important that there is a very famous hadith narrated by Aisha radiallahu anha. And the smart part of it is, the meaning of it is Allah Rafiq wa yuhibbur rifq. That Allah is kind and He loves kindness. And in another hadith, it says whichever thing has softness in it makes it beautiful. Zayyanaha. It makes it beautiful. When you go to a store and you see an associate that is very welcoming, smiling at you, helping you, if you're not able to find the stock make sure that you get that thing, and then they're on their way. Don't you feel good inside? There was a person who recognized me as a human being and then helped me get to where I wanted to. And that aspect is what we all need to show. There are many incidents in the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam where he's showing this. There was an occasion where a Bedouin, those people in the village, they used to be very harsh. The people who were Muhajirin, who were with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for a long time, they won't even look into his eyes out of adab. But then there were these people who were coming from villages, and they would treat the messenger of Allah as another person. They would even call his name. In one such instance, this person wanted something. He grabbed the cloth of Rasulullah so hard that it basically caused a red line on his neck. This is basically a really bad behavior. But even then, he smiled. He laughed at him and he said to Sahaba, give him what he wants. Another occasion, these are famous incidents, that the person came into the masjid, he was relieving himself in the corner. For us, we will be just rushing and cursing that person, but his behavior, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was, let him finish. Then he asked him and gently reminded him, this is a place of worship, we keep it nice and clean. And that is the lesson for us. And this needs to be applied to myself first. I need to be kind to myself. Allah created all these souls for worship. And if we recognize that, inshallah, all of us will see each other in Jannah after this life. That was the goal of all Anbiya, to remind that this life that we are in is short. Eventually we all will be going to our final destination, where when we recognize Allah as the Rabb, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show mercy. He will be kind when we show kindness. Similar to where it says that if you don't show mercy to people, Allah will not show mercy. Allah is merciful, but shows mercy to the ones who are merciful. Same logic. Allah is so kind to us. We enjoy everything. We enjoy these luxuries. In return, we should be kind. In all aspects. And nobody asked me. I'm honest with you. But just idea popped right now in my head that kindness also goes to our center. We're enjoying it. If we count, we are probably more than 100. If we donate $100, we can cover many months' expenses for the center. And people are being reminded. I'm just saying it's out of the context, but I thought that when we are together, we should show this aspect, that we are kind, our heart is kind. It is a giving heart. And with that, we approach our family. And we don't have to create our own standards. The standards are set by the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Remember this, that he said, be kind to your people who are under you. We at home have our children under us. And that does not mean that we don't discipline them. We discipline them, but at the same time, we are kind to them. Discipline can be implemented with kindness. It is not always a stick and no carrot. We also need to show the carrot. And at the same time, our wives, they are managing our houses. And many times we say, you don't know how hard my work is. We don't know how hard their work is. So when both are accommodating, in Surah Rum it says that we created you from two genders so that you can combine and complete and have tranquility, peace in your house, and that can only come when we recognize each other. If I want my wife to recognize my effort at work, I should recognize my wife's effort at home. That she's managing, she's the manager of the house. She's taking care of the kids. And that will show us, not even hereafter, but here in the world, the fruits of it. Just a kind behavior. Just saying, today's food was great. I'm not saying lie, but when you enjoy it, acknowledge it. But that's part of the sunnah. If you don't like some food, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would be quiet. He would eat some, but he would never say this food was bad. And then we move on to our parents. Many of you were enjoying summer break. You probably are on your phone all night. But remember, no? Okay, you're not. But remember, your parents are the keys to Jannah. Because many places in our Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that worship me and show good behavior to your parents. It is together. As a reminder that I acknowledge my Creator, and immediately after that I acknowledge the ones who became the means to bring me to this world. I was looking at some old picture and I realized, they are all grown-ups now, but I used to carry my kids on my shoulder. And I shared one picture, and of my daughter says, no, you never did that. Mom, look here in the picture. You will forget how you were raised with love and affection. But remember, even if there are no pictures, that love was there to raise you to the day that you are at. So be kind. Those who are school kids, college kids, elementary kids. Dad loves you. Mom loves you. And we want, as a community, the best for you. The best. But as a result, you should be kind to parents. This is very important. Then moving on, we go into these, when we call people towards tawhid. We can be harsh, we can be, my deen is right, your deen is wrong, but then there is another way. Remember this incident, that a group of Yahud came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they said, Assalamu alaikum. In the way they said it, it means death be upon you. Death be upon you. And Aisha radiallahu anha was there. Nabi alayhi salam just replied wa alaykum. But she said, La'natullah alaykum. And two others. And Nabi alayhi salam stopped her and said, wait, be kind. And she said, don't you hear what they said? I said, I heard, and what I said is accepted, what they said is not accepted. But even with the enemies, we also remember Musa was told to go to Fir'aun and do what? Be harsh with him. He is the biggest enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he still passed the message with kindness. So each one of us should be a walking example of that. That we are kind to each other. We are making sure that nobody is hurt around you. I'm not saying that we should be double-faced, that you're nice to this brother here, and behind this brother's back we start talking about the brother. It should be genuine. Because why? We do this with ikhlas for Allah. We do this so that on the day we can say, oh Allah, I tried to follow this character of your Nabi, your Habib alayhi salatu wasalam. There are so many things, but when you read through the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was always depicting this feature. He will not elevate himself. People would not know if they are from outside who is the Prophet. He would be among them. There is no high level. In Surah Al-Qasas, there is a famous ayah which translates to the meaning, تِلْكَ الدَّارُ الْآخِرَةُ نَجْعَلُهَا لِلَّذِينَ لَا يُرِيدُونَ عُلُوًّا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا فِسَادًا. This house of Akhirah, is for people who did not seek higher stations in dunya. When you look at Anbiya, they used to sit with masakin, they used to love to sit with masakin. There is a hadith which said, Nabi alayhi salam said, that I love to sit with masakin. So when we see these people of power enjoying their status and praising each other, don't be disappointed, don't be depressed. Because when you look at it, you get depressed. That this recognition and so-called respect is for people who are against humanity. Everything they can think of, but they are still being praised. But know that this life is short. That we need to communicate this with our kids too. Whatever worldly recognition and high station we see, they are temporary. They should not deceive us. Surah Kahf, we read, it says very clearly that this movement of kuffar on earth, meaning their stronghold, should not make you think that they are okay. They are not okay. But we are not enjoying the fact that eventually they will be burning, but our job is to keep on communicating this message of kindness, of the character of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين يا رب العالمين اللهم انصر إخواننا في فلسطين اللهم ثبت أقدامهم اللهم أنزل عليهم السكينة اللهم ارزقهم رزقا حلالا طيبا اللهم احفظهم اللهم احفظ بيوتهم وأموالهم وأولادهم يا رب العالمين لا تؤاخذنا بقلة حيلتنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى اللهم توفنا مسلمين وألحقنا بالصالحين عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. باقي السلام.